Hi, Will.
Hey, hope
How
you
are
got some
you?
sleep. Yeah, I'm doing well. It's been a busy weekend.
Yeah, busy weekend, and yeah, it's not every day that you have such an outage.
Absolutely. I know. Some of our clients were very fortunate, and we got them taken care of. But I know there's still quite a few that are still down.
Yeah, the same in Israel, UK, US. My WhatsApp was full of messages and LinkedIn, and it seems like that this is the biggest, yeah, if I can call it an incident, recent in this year, maybe the last 3 years.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the last time we've seen something of this scale has been about 14 years.
Yeah, yeah. So actually, it's not exactly cybersecurity incident, but there are lots of similarities, I guess.
Yeah, so I would say the official word is it was just a bug in the release, right? There was a patch that the vendor sent out that was a bug fix. We call them patches, but there was this bug fix that was pushed down that caused this issue. And so it's not necessarily cyber, but when we look at cyber, we're talking about confidentiality, integrity, and availability of data and
Yeah,
systems. And this really affected the availability. So it's not directly cyber the way you would think cyber, but it definitely affected information availability.
yeah. So Will, if we could start from the beginning, can you give us some summary of what happened and what is the current status?
Sure. So, yeah, I guess early Friday morning, for us here, it was about 12:30 in the morning. There was an update to the CrowdStrike Windows agent, and this update was to fix a high memory utilization issue. So, there was a lot of support tickets, complaints of high memory use on the agent on the endpoint, and so CrowdStrike rolled out an update to try to fix this memory utilization error. And so this bug fix that they were pushing out to fix the agent essentially caused Windows to blue screen and a lot of systems to get into a boot loop. So they were just constantly rebooting. They would boot up, blue screen, then reboot, and so it basically caused a major outage where Windows systems were offline. And I think it was something like 35 million Windows systems across the globe.
Wow, wow. And what is the current status?
So they've released they fixed what was causing the blue screen in the update, but the system has to be able to download that update. So there's been a couple of workarounds that have been given. Initially it was, they told customers to boot into safe mode, go into a Windows system directory and remove a file. And then once you remove that file, you could reboot and be fine, and then it would get the proper update. But that's not what caused the issue, right? What caused the issue is, as we start putting these cybersecurity controls on, you to log into safe mode, you have to have a local account. Well, we love removing local accounts and local privileges and things like that. So anybody that didn't have local accounts, it became a problem of what accounts were there. So that was one issue, and then the other issue is you reboot into safe mode, and sometimes BitLocker would come on and say, "Hey, your hard drive's encrypted. You need to get a BitLocker key." Well, that's good if you've got good hygiene on storing these encryption recovery keys. But if you don't, you just store them in Active Directory or Azure Intra ID, then what winds up happening is, let's say your domain controller now has a blue screen. So your domain controller is blue screen because of this outage. So you can't even log into Active Directory to get your BitLocker recovery keys. So it really becomes this domino process that's why we still, I think here we still have the Atlanta airport, one of the big airlines that have had passengers stranded for 5 days now.
Wow. And I guess that we already love to talk about the small and medium businesses. We like them. We think that they are the most vulnerable. And I guess most of those companies rely on MSPs and MSSPs. And I wonder that MSPs need to usually using remote access to the endpoints. And currently, I guess that it's not so easy to do that when you have such a outage.
No, with an outage like this, the remote management tools are completely offline. So, that was the big thing when you start talking about scale is, customers affected by this really required someone to come on site and touch every computer.
Hmm.
So, it increases the downtime, and, like some of the clients and some of my friends in the industry, are dealing with 6, 10, 20,000, computers that they're having to touch. And so if you figure it's a 10 to 15 minute fix per computer, times 10,000 computers, I mean, you're talking almost a year to recover in the
Yeah.
worst case.
And you must be on-prem. You cannot do it remotely.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, the only place that you could potentially do this remotely would be servers, right? So
Yeah.
if your servers were, you could remote in to like VMware or, some of these high virtual environments and then do the fix there. But yeah, workstations, and especially with a hybrid workforce, people work from home. This actually will force a lot of people back into the office to get it fixed.
Yeah, yeah. So the situation where most of the MSPs employees are working from home or not from the office or remotely access the customers, it's not valid anymore. So it's a new concept that we have to think about for the next time such a outage can or incident could come.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like I said, the last time we saw this, we saw it. I remember it well. There was, McAfee, and it's about 14 years ago that one of the Windows updates was tagged as a virus, and it removed one of the Windows system files, and so blue screened, locked up Windows, and you had to do a full recovery. So yeah, we haven't seen something like this in about 14 years, but we've definitely got a plan for it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember WannaCry about 7 years ago, something like that. It's a ransomware, but not exactly like that. And I think it was easier to fix, but huge influence.
Yeah,
Also related to updates and
yeah, absolutely.
yeah, yeah. So I guess when I see some speakers in LinkedIn talking about how to help each other and think, and if you are badly injured or from this type of attack or outage, you should understand how to fix it, but also how to be able to handle it next time. And for those who are lucky, were lucky this time to think about next time. And I guess it's all about, or we should talk about business continuity from various of attacks, vector or incident or outage that could come. And I guess that risk management should be a major part. And in this time, we see that it's not only in theory. It could happen and it could be a massive in lots and lots of organizations.
Absolutely. When you look at business continuity, the idea is, different industries are affected different ways. But with business continuity, there used to be a time we didn't have computers, right?
Yeah,
So how did you run a business? You had a calculator, you had paper receipts. But we've gone so digital that now we've relied on technology so heavily. We still have to think about if technology doesn't exist. And we talk. You mentioned risk management. I would say a lot of people in cyber were catastrophists, right? We think the worst before we dive into it. It's it wasn't a misconfiguration; it was a massive cyber attack, or things like that. But simple things like prolonged power outages, natural disasters. These things can take out data centers or big computer networks. And so you have to plan, how can your business survive with an outage, whether it be a natural disaster, whether it be war, whether it be a cyber attack.
Yeah.
Really, it's risk management. How do you keep going?
Yeah, yeah, it exists in many compliance frameworks that you have to make sure that you are well prepared for this type of incidents. But now we understand it's not only in theory; it's a real thing. And I guess that in the next video we'll discuss it in a more deeply, and we understand how businesses could be better prepared for such an incident. So super interesting. I think that it takes us for a different era to understand how we could face such bugs, outages,
Yeah,
incidents. And thank you, Real, for this interesting conversation.
absolutely. Thanks. Always happy to help.
Okay, bye bye.